Hi everyone, Jailene here. Today I'm going to talk about some principles that I've come across in everyday life through some encounters how I get a lot of or how I deeply internalize a lot of lessons is, when there are like principles present in experiences throughout life. I pick up with them with my knee, a lot of times, like cross-contextualize them from, things that coach has taught me, or other learnings that I've had, like truths, but I make correlations to those, and then I'm like, oh, that's, something important that I should remember and, take away with me. So, and then I keep them in my vibe. So, a couple of things that I've come across. One of them was actually today, and like Coach always says, when you have a lot of energy about something, about an encounter, you should probably, that means your spirits want to talk about it. So you might as well go ahead and articulate it and get it out there, because it wants to come out in that way. So something that I was telling them about, had started telling them about when I came back today, because I was very, I was sort of like in a little bit of a state, and Coach always notices because he knows me, but he didn't say anything. I just then once I said, hey, I started talking about it. He's like, oh, I noticed, you were sort of in a state, but I didn't want to, ask anything. But what happened was that. So I went to I met up with someone that I meet up with on a semi-regular basis that, is sort of, I don't want to get into too many specifics because it's more of like the principle in general of what happened in the encounter with this person, but it is relevant to say that in the semi-regular encounters with this person, who's a Jaini, there's some connecting on philosophical points, worldview, that is relevant because there's some, like metaphysical chiropractic work that's being done in these sessions. So when I met up with this person today, we were talking about just philosophical things came up, and this person's was trying to give me teachings, learnings, but the problem is that they're coming from his worldview, and his worldview has been hijacked by these models that are flawed and yeah, that are, and I hate to use this, but it's true. That's like the only word that applies to that. That are stupid because they are actually harming. Like they're harmful in the end because they're not according to natural law. You're actually not flowing. It's not true. Natural law principles in those models, so you're actually following something that's going to take you down the wrong path, and you're actually trying to teach that to other people. Like that's like how you're advising them. You're advising them through that lens, and so when Coach, a lot of people can say, like he has a lot of energy when he talks about how these models are stupid or incompetent or obsolete, but it's coming from a place of caring, caring about what goes into people's head, what they learn, what they carried forward, what they carry, what they take within themselves, like how they're going through life, based on what lens and what they pass on to anyone they come across with, down to, their own offspring that passes it forward unto other generations. And so at some point, somebody needs to come in and say, that model is no good. You need to scrap that because that's actually, giving you wrong, you're interpreting information wrong, and you're passing on that poor interpretation down to legacy, like down to your offspring and beyond, and that needs to stop at some point, so things will actually be in balance and flow with natural law, so you're actually not screwing yourself up and not screwing others up. So he proceeded to give me teachings and learnings, but based off of these models like astrology, and other models that have fundamental flaws in them, okay, so I tried to be, so when people, okay, so here's how I approach it when people talk to me, when, try to give me learnings or try to give me their insights or thoughts, but are based off of models that I can obviously see are flawed. So I try to approach it empathetically and with an open mind, but still recognizing, things that I see as natural law truths that are not that are represented in that model incorrectly, and so that needs to, I have a responsibility because I see that to actually, not just let someone, I need to speak my mind about how I feel about it. Otherwise, my spirits wouldn't, be okay with that. My others wouldn't be okay with that. But I try to approach it empathetically and with an open mind. And so, when people tell me, well, the reason why you're like this is because of, a certain alignment of planets and stuff, or because you're certain, zodiac sign or whatever. I'm like, I try to approach it empathetically, but honestly, from an authentic position of I don't believe in that. I don't believe in astrology, for example. I think that it's a way that people, it's a model that, just like any other model, that people use to interpret data, information, to learn things, to understand things. But it's a flawed and inefficient model, and also so I try to approach it or talk to that person at first, let's discuss this. Well, why should astrology, why should, the time, the place, the month in which someone was born be the end all and be all unique identifier of that creation of a being, And so if someone can talk to me from that conceptual, theoretical perspective, then we can start trying to have a meeting of minds as to why the nine zai of that doesn't work. I mean, why that would not be the unique identifier, the thing that makes a person think the way they think, understand things the way they understand it. It's not. I'm not saying that the alignment of the planets, the qualia. So I'm not saying that the alignment of the planets, like I was telling them earlier, or the alignment of the planets or other cosmic elements don't have an impact in, people's state of mind or something. I'm open to that. I haven't seen proof to that. I'm open to it though, but that's not the primary thing that drives the understanding of a person. And if you're telling me that, then I'm not, I'm going to push back on it. So, but I was pushing back with it with a lot of, arguments and solid facts and trying to bring that person to the truth. And he was, being very, it's an issue when a person doesn't actually, is not in the headspace to actually have an actual debate with you, conceptual debate, because they really don't have an understanding of what they actually believe themselves. So that makes it hard to actually have a discussion or a debate with someone when they don't actually know the facts of what they believe or other models, or why that should be where they're hit, like that should be the primary model that you hold on to for the understanding of everything, you know, like, or shouldn't. Like it's, they don't have that.
You have to build their case for them.
Grasp, yeah.
Like she disagrees, but before she disagree why it's stupid, that yet they don't
lay out
a
full like.
It's a lot of work.
Canvassing, yeah, and then argue. So I proceeded to do this, and I did it with a lot of energy because my spirits are, were driving me, powering me to do this. And so at the end of it, he sort of, coach said he like the word which is appropriate here is like, wilted. Because I guess like that was true when you said that, like what people react, like how people react, they'll, when you have a lot of energy,
try to hold on to you,
either hold on to you, lash out,
or
wilt. And his was this third one here, but you just have to. So then, like, but he conceded that that we weren't going to come to agreement, because at first I actually tried to like be like, okay, we just don't agree on this, we just like agree to disagree. But then because he still had this need, and I saw it, this hunger that was driving him to be the Fumasta in this encounter. So like he felt his pride, like because I out argued him, his pride and his Fumasaness took a hit. So then he wouldn't accept that, and like he kept, rearing up. But you just need to take a time out at that point and like just, go rearrange your head, or, have some sort of quasi-death. But, he didn't really do that. He just said it at the end, like, well, you have a lot of energy, or like a lot of other people don't have energy right now because of Mercury retrograde or whatnot, So like he tried to explain it to himself, and then tried to say, well, maybe we won't, talk about, maybe we'll go right into the session and we won't talk about what I believe in or what I don't believe in, because that, I guess, and you have to awkward. It was awkward. Like Coach said, when you are in this line of business, I guess, when you have this sort of when you're a teacher as a role, you're gonna sometimes you're gonna have awkward encounters as you speak your mind and speak what you believe, and also debate people.
Authenticity.
Authenticity
also makes things awkward. But
also makes things awkward.
It needs to be done.
But it needs to be done.
Like you said, if you're not authentic, then why are you even doing it?
Yeah. Then why are you there? Like, why your spirits would be like, well, you punk out at the moment that you're actually supposed to be doing something. So you just have to do it, and then just just deal with that, perhaps awkward energy. But if you laid out a good enough case to that person, well, maybe that person will take away something that will be helpful for them. And so you just have to keep doing that. You just have to keep being authentic and keep learning more and more, so you're better and better articulator of your ideas and the ideas that you're communicating, so that when you communicate them to people, then it just is what it is. They'll have their reaction, whether it's awkward or not in the moment, and you'll just get more polished to dealing with it. But you're still proud, of the way you conducted yourself in the encounter and the engagement. So
sounds like you did really good.
Yeah, I tried to approach it well, because
What did it give you a lot of energy afterwards?
Yeah, it just gave me a lot of energy, because I'm being a tower, I don't go out like trying to influence the environment. I mean, I do sometimes, but that's like purposeful. I wasn't planning on doing it, so it came up. But my spirits, it was sort of like I was channeling them, and then you're in the ride, and and then you just have a lot of energy that comes out of it. But yeah, it's part of it, and it's just part of the journey, like the feeling this energy and like having these encounters and stuff like that. But it's just getting used to it, getting more polished, and that's a continual thing.
But it's hero's work for sure.
Yeah, but it's hero's work.
I'm really proud of you. Cause that's you're there to get your metaphysical on, and you get like, oh man, that's kind of awkward.
I know.
But you don't want to be the like.
Yeah, and
you don't back off truth.
No, you don't want to back off truth, and at the end, like, I didn't do anything that I wasn't proud of, and like the other person, didn't have anything that they could say like, that person wasn't noble about how they conducted themselves with me. We just don't agree in this. And she, I made it clear, like, you could think like she definitely doesn't believe that, astrology should be the model that people carry as the tool, as the apparatus for understanding the world. And that's true. I do believe that. So
It's great to you're proud of that.
yeah. Well, the other thing is talking about, which is it's sort of related to this, which is like your state of the state of your spirit, but this in a little bit different way. But the state of your spirit creates your reality, which and Coach and Nademus and I talk about this in different ways. But it really does, like, because we talk about this a lot, about like how the state of your spirit is creating your reality. But then when you actually like get these experiences, like they really galvanize that point, in your mind, like how you approach things, can shift everything, can shift your reality. So like I've been doing, by being aware of my powers and how I affect things and patterns that I had before, I've been able to change some patterns that weren't as healthy for my own peak pathway, because I had adjusted them to deal with the way the world is now and to try to be successful in that. But in knowing what I am and how my peak pathway works, then you can start with those knowings and with lessons of how to peak properly. You can start, what I did is like start experimenting with different patterns and seeing how that does or doesn't change the outcomes in the world, in your environment around you. And through that conscious experimentation, I've and a lot of like, how long has it not had film?
Does it say record still?
It says record still.
It's still recording.
It says 0 minutes.
So it means you have 0 minutes, so you better wrap it up.
Okay, well, guys, I think I'll continue talking about this in the next one. So,
The teaser.
I have,
Teaser.
next one. It's a teaser. I went on about that first one a little longer
great,
than what I
though.
thought, but good. I think it's gone.